Hey guys, so we're gonna go over how I learned Portuguese. We're gonna dive right in. But first, you gotta know that when I was doing this, it was probably the fifth or sixth language I learned. So let's dive right in. The first thing I did was obviously go over the sounds and how to pronounce things, right? And then I dove right into translations. So this was probably week 2 or 3 of learning Portuguese. So I learned how to do translations from learning languages in the past. So I pretty much just dove right in. I was like, all right, let me pick songs that I know and songs that I like. So a lot of my translations were just song lyrics. So right off the bat, you'll be able to tell that my vocabulary would be a bit limited to whatever music I'm listening to. If I'm listening to love songs, then most of my vocabulary is about love, breakups, and getting back together with a person. And that's actually what happened. I was listening to sertanejo, which is a music genre from Brazil, and that's essentially what all their lyrics are about. So I did manage to diversify just a wee bit from sertanejo because I did end up looking at song lyrics from bands I do like and doing translations like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Beatles, Iron Maiden. So I got a little bit of other influences from other bands that gave me a larger vocab. So going back to it, I was doing translations around songs and listening to music for about 2 months or so, maybe 3. At which point I finally decided, hey, let me talk to a native speaker. And boom, I started talking to a native speaker, and obviously they improved my vocab and they taught me how to speak more normally. Because I remember a lot of my conversations were in the first and third person. And I used the verb fazer way too much. I'd be like, eu fiz, blah, blah, blah. Você fez, blah, blah, blah. And I was literally like most of the conversation, me asking, what did you do about X thing? And then I would say what I did about X thing. And yeah, because again, there was a lot of love songs. So if they had spoken to me about love, I probably would have been able to do fine. But since they spoke about everyday things, I had a bit of difficulty. But I actually didn't care that much, to be honest. So while I was doing this whole process, I actually knew that was one of the downfalls. But truth be told, I don't care because I just had too much fun doing it. And I knew from previous experiences, hey, over time, this will be corrected by talking to native speakers and or getting more vocab from places that don't talk about loving or have more inclusive vocabulary about everyday life. So that's what I did. So after talking to native speakers, that went on for a while, quite a while, probably a year or whatever. And within that year, at some point, I started looking at movies and film. Sorry, the Portuguese word jumped into my brain. Filme. So I said movies and film. Whatever shit that happens to polyglots. You get the word twice or multiple times. So I was watching movies and putting up subtitles, right? And essentially, I was learning through that too because movies have more everyday speech. And at that point, once I incorporated movies and reading the subtitles, then I started talking even better. Right, so let me explain a little bit of my method so it makes more sense how I was actually improving. So essentially, when I get a text or translation or a lyric, whatever, when I get a damn sentence in Portuguese, I try to replicate it in various ways, right? And then once I think I know how to replicate it to say what I want to say, I take it to the native speaker, right? And I say whatever it is I want to say. And the native speaker is like, oh, well, I think you said that incorrectly. Or like, oh, he's talking normally. Let's just keep talking, right? So if the dude just keeps talking, I'm like, oh, it's a positive sentence. The sentence works. If the dude's like, oh, you should put a S there or take out this verb or you're using the wrong verb in general, then that's feedback in which I'm like, oh, shit, okay, let me try to remember that or let me, I don't try to take notes like that, but I do adjustments in which I lead to me remembering that. I do adjustments, but I usually don't take notes. So yeah, that's how I end up learning, and that's how I progress with the translations and lyrics and the native speakers. I just did that a shit ton over and over and over about various subjects that eventually I learned how to speak normal-ish or normally. And also, what really helped was talking to Brazilians in real life, which was not planned, actually. That was a total accident. It just so happened that I worked around Brazilians, and I found out that there was a Brazilian community, and I just talked to them. And at this point, we're probably at year 2 or something, and I could speak Portuguese and have a conversation about more or less whatever I wanted to. And then I just stopped, and we're now in present day, where I picked it back up about a year ago because I wanted to go to Brazil. And obviously when I picked it back up, I had left off high enough that I could always have a conversation. But I picked it back up, and I was like, all right, when we're going to Brazil, we're just gonna hammer it out, baby. We're just gonna go full force and talk to everyone in Portuguese, and that's what I did. Obviously, when I was down there, I may have made some mistakes, but it was fine. And now, I actually don't really do what I used to do. So what I used to do was music translation and stuff. Now I just read. I don't even talk to Brazilians anymore. Just because there's no real reason other than the fact that I just don't do it. Probably just because I'm not used to doing it anymore. But now saying that in this video, I'm kind of like, I probably should, since I'm reading in Portuguese and I'm actively working on it. That I probably should. So yeah, that's it. And I probably will make another video in Portuguese at some point. I just want to keep this video relatively short. So remember, like, comment, subscribe. Any questions, let me know. And I'll see you guys in